Welcome back for another video. I'm Ehabad, a free-to-play endgame player in Raid Shadow Legends. Today we're back doing something a little different, which hopefully you'll enjoy watching. As I've mentioned before, essentially this Doom Tower cycle, I decided to turn my attention towards the Doom Tower turn count leaderboard and see just how far I could push my account. So on Frostbite 120 hard, I've managed to get it down to 39 turns. I don't quite have the champions to push this much further. If I had Poison Explosion, Elenaral, then I think I could get it lower. But without access to either of those, I think I'm kind of roughly capped out about 39 turns. I don't think I could get much lower. And if we look at the overall rankings, I am 24th on 39 turns. And the only teams with Drexar that have done it in less have Poison Explosion setups. So I think I am broadly capped out. So let's get into the run and show you how I did it, and then we'll take a look at the gearing, because I've done some fairly odd things to make this work. Right then, with Kaimar we'll open with the A1. With Romantu we'll block the passive cooldown skills predominantly on Tormin, the rest of it doesn't matter. We will then drop defense and weaken, and obviously buff ourselves through Lydia, and then we will strip with Seer, giving us a clean kill of the wave. Kaimar will reset. We needed Seer not to get frozen, however, so we will be restarting. And we're just going to keep running this until we get past the two waves. So you can see it's on the cusp. If we miss any of our major abilities on either of these two waves, I'm simply not clearing them. And this is partly why I say Poison Explosion, Xavier blocks revive, so you don't need to bring Romantu at all. And because you can bring so much more damage, I'm limited to how many buffs I can bring for Seer. It's just easier to wipe the waves. And then lastly, often with the Poison Explosion setups, the rest of the team you're bringing is going to be weaker and be killed quicker in this boss. So part of my issue with my turn count here is that this composition doesn't die quickly enough. So I'm just going to A1, I want these champions to die as quickly as possible. Hopefully they'll all get frozen there. Try and get an HP burnout on one of the side spiderlings. Also the drop TM is helpful because this one is the one that will cleanse the main spider. A1 the boss with any of our champions that are alive. And then we will try to get HP burn on the second spider. So you can see there's been quite a lot of turns from our wave clear team, and that's the biggest weakness in terms of this composition. But I don't have any other champions that I can do it quicker. I've tried a pure nuke approach, tried Seer bombing. This approach gives me slightly less turns. At this point, it's pure RNG. Do we get the HP burns on or not? The quicker we get the HP burns on, the quicker we kill, and the less turns we use. Right now, as you can see, we've not hit a single HP burn, and we've not even hit a single Giant Slayer proc, to the point that we're probably going to die. This is quite wild. 0 first HP burn on the side spiders. That's an incredibly low chance of having such bad RNG. Again, no HP burn. And we're getting unlucky to even get the decreased accuracy on us, because, you know, we have a lot of resistance. So the idea here is we just want to keep as many HP burns up as possible. The main boss will usually HP burn himself if you're attacking us, but the side spiderlings do not attack us, so we need to try and place the HP burn on them ourselves. So again, we'll just try and put it on the right side. Add. Again, we fail, because in this run, all we do is fail to place the HP burn, and we continually seem to pick up the one debuff we don't want. The RNG gods are forever not in our favour. Every time anyone takes an HP burn, main spiderling chunking down the health 500k each time. So all it is about getting as many of those procs off as possible in as short a time frame as possible. Which is why Elinara is so good. One, it's irresistible HP burn on the A1. You will always place it on each of the mobs every single time. Also, as it's irresistible, you don't need accuracy, which means it's much easier on the gearing side. Drexar is an incredibly challenging champion to gear for a solo run, such as this. So you saw we did it in 44 turns, but we had terrible RNG. I'll do it one more time, see if we can get better RNG, and then I'll show the builds. So again, here it's just about, can we get the HP burns out? Can we die quickly? Doesn't really matter if we take freeze, because if we're frozen I don't think it counts as a turn. I mostly focus on the two side adds. As I said, typically the boss will take care of HP burning himself, and because he constantly gets cleansed by the right ad. the left spiderling's going to die from the next HP burn proc anyway, so I might as well just try and get Giant Slayer on the main boss. Will now be cleansed by the right spiderling, and again I'll just keep, because the right spiderling's going to die pretty soon from HP burn ticks anyway, so I might as well just keep doing Giant Slayer on the main boss. Annoying decrease accuracy there, so we're failing to get HP burn up, so we're just doing extra turns for no reason. And there's 39 turns. So, you know, with absolute perfect RNG, I could probably get this down a couple of turns, maybe. But is it worth running over and over? Probably not. It's good enough. And it was fun figuring out the builds to get it below 40 turns. So let's take a look at these builds because they are quite unusual. So Ramantu, I previously had built in immunity for Arena. I had to put him in a shield set to get this done. I needed the extra buff. In terms of stats, all that really matters is enough accuracy to be landing the debuffs. 400 is too much. And obviously speed tuned for the composition. And then you really want as low HP and as low defense as possible, so he dies as quickly as possible. To that end, I took the ring off. On Lydia, I've actually taken the ring, chest, and helm off to try and get her to die fast enough. Again, enough accuracy to be landing the debuffs, the speed to fit within the tune. So here I have Kaimar going first, then Ramantu second, and then Lydia. That way, because I'm not bringing block debuffs in, Ramantu will block Tormund's passive before Lydia buffs, and it just reduces the chances that Seer will get frozen. Effectively, you know, if I ran it the other way around, Lydia was buffing, there would be more opportunities for other champions to get frozen, particularly Seer. So I don't think it would work if you had Lydia faster than Ramantu without requiring extreme RNG. We'll come back to Drexar last. Prince Kaimar is currently in the triple refresh, which is what I've been using for the floors, the waves, done as quickly as possible. Not necessary for this particular run. Again, you really want him to die as quickly as possible. I probably could have taken some gear off him, maybe the helm and the ring, and that might have saved me a turn. Just needs to be fastest in the composition. 300 speeds, not necessarily, doesn't need any accuracy, but I didn't want to spend loads of silver stripping off more and more gear from more champions. Maybe I could have, maybe I should have. Seer, the right speed in the tune, so obviously 4th fastest. Accuracy is not required for this. Because of the amount of buffs you're bringing and how strong the waves are, you do need really good stats in terms of crit damage. This is in Savage, 312% crit damage. I had to do a boot swap to give CM more crit damage to get it done, even with the additional buff, more crit damage. So this was quite a challenging build to get it done in such a short number of turns. And then Drexar, in Lifesteal, you could equally look at doing a regen immortal style build. My Drexar has always been a lifesteal. I have Giant Slayer and it works with it, so I felt no need to potentially change masteries, to change the gear completely. It was more of a tweaking of the gear. So again, you know, saving silver, some of the pieces I managed to reuse. In terms of total stats, we need over 350 resistance, really. Even slightly more than this would be more comfortable. You saw we did still take some debuffs. Next CVC, I'll probably glyph up this gear and get the resistance a bit higher to make it more consistent. Accuracy, we have an 80 accuracy lead, which takes us over 500. 515 accuracy. Again, a little bit low. I would prefer it to be a bit higher against this boss, but it's good enough. And without using more glyphs or without having better gear, I couldn't really get the level of resist and the level of accuracy required, whilst also having enough effective HP pool in the build without stripping off gear from my main arena team, which is not something I wanted to do. And this was basically the best I was able to do. Ideally, I would say I would like him to be a little bit slower. I think that would be a way of making it even more efficient, but it worked. But it's still a tough build. If we just have a look through some of the pieces, you're looking like mostly legendary and epic pieces, a couple of rares on the accessories, but it's pretty much there's speed, resistance, accuracy, and survivability stats on every single piece. This is the kind of piece I'd say I'd prefer if there weren't two speed rolls. If we had more in accuracy or more in resist or more in HP would be optimum. There's not many wasted stats across the board. Like it's a tough build, and of course Hell Hades gear optimizer tool definitely does help. If you know roughly what stats you're looking for, you know what gear sets you're looking for, it does help you figure out the best way of achieving that within your account. Definitely saves a lot of time, a lot of messing around, and I've used it quite extensively. If we come and look at Hard Dune Tower and we go to the rankings, I am currently 12th overall, which for me I'm massively proud of. I know not many people in the entire game really push these turn counts at each cycle. So, it may be, that doesn't mean I'm the 12th best player in the world. Of course not, otherwise I'd be finishing in plat every week. What it does prove to me is that even if you are free to play, you still can achieve a lot in this game. And to get such few number of turns, I'm proud of that. I know I will be able to get this a little bit lower before the reset of the cycle. My main boss that I need to reduce turns on is Magma. As you can see, I'm currently at 85 turns on floor 110. I know I can get this down once I rank up War Chief. War Chief very much features in all the fastest teams. I do have one on my account, so I can get it lower. But that said, I found a way of getting 85 turns, which I thought was pretty good, and it required a fairly strange team that you wouldn't typically associate with Magma. It didn't bring any of the kind of requirements that I would normally say bring for a budget comp. Thanks for watching. I hope this video has been enjoyable for you to see. I will be following this video up with a walkthrough on how to clear Frostspider using a budget team. So I'll have to neuter the Drexar build to demonstrate that, because Drexar I think is one of the easiest ways for any player with a limited roster to beat Frostspider. We all get Drexar through TTA Bazaar, and he's a fantastic champion. As you can see in this video, he can even solo it. So I'll see you in that video shortly. In the meantime, please like, comment, and subscribe. Any feedback is always welcome, and see you next time.